Lisa Raitt, a conservative and a former politician, was cooking on CBC. You hardly ever see this. I got 2 clips here. I believe they're from the same interview. Let's take a look. This is great stuff.
It was interesting in speaking with Gaguis because there had been some criticism of the federal government's approach to this in terms of dealing with First Nations and Indigenous leaders, that he felt respected by the process and was satisfied with where the relationship is now. But progress on the relationship front, it seems like progress on the pipeline is going to be far, far, far more difficult, if not impossible, after what we heard today.
I don't think you can say impossible. I think you don't know. Circumstances can change. What I do know.
Exactly. Why would you say that? I have more thoughts on that, but why would you say impossible like that?
Is that it is so early in any kind of process right now to say yes or no, it's definitely going to happen. They're talking. That's what matters. But I will tell you one thing. This kind of language and open discussion about there's a strong dislike of having an oil pipeline in the north of BC, that's not just heard by Canadians, David, that's heard around the world by absolutely everybody. So as a result...
Exactly. That is heard around the world. Potential investors, even just other people. It does not make Canada look like an attractive place to be. It makes us look like a bunch of complainers, a bunch of negative, defensive people that don't want to build.
It'll be very difficult to attract somebody who wants to build a pipeline there because they're just hearing negatives. They're hearing that the risk may not be able to be mitigated, that there'd be an uphill battle. It sounds like it'd be a long time to get some kind of a regulatory approval. Even though the government's in there saying, no, we're here to help, it's still not the signal and not the noises that industry is going to want to hear.
So Lisa,
that is a fantastic point. And you could see there, I believe there was some kind of jump cut in the edit here. I actually did respond, or I did a live stream, and I watched this panel. It's just, I didn't see this part of the panel on the CBC YouTube channel, so maybe it's somewhere else I didn't look. But anyway, yeah, I'll continue here. I got some more thoughts just on Canada's inability or maybe lack of urgency to build the pipeline.
The conversations will continue here, obviously, and I know you made the point about the signals it sends to investors and to capital, and they could be discouraging. So what is the next move? I mean, it was important for the Prime Minister and Minister Hodgson to meet with the people he met with today. What is the next move there if you're the government, industry, Alberta, and you want to try to move this along?
I think it's in the hands of Alberta, quite frankly. You need to be a proponent. And you need to have a project and you need to advance it. I think my point, and I'm not deluded, Nathan, you know that.
Sorry, I wasn't calling you deluded, Lisa. I apologize.
He meant diluted, like the bitumen. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
See, I couldn't find that exchange on the CBC YouTube channel. Maybe I just clicked on the wrong video, but I don't know. I didn't hear the part where she apparently got called deluded. I don't know.
And my point being, gentlemen, that the reality is that, like I said, we don't necessarily have a project right now, but I also don't believe that we should not discuss the possibility of a project in the future. I don't like absolutisms. You're using the word impossible. You're saying the science will never change. Of course it can change. You can figure out a way to encapsulate it in clathrates if you want to try to figure out how to get rid of the bitumen so that it's not going to wash up where it is. There's always work that can be done. There can be mitigation done with the types of tankers going up and down. Impossible is not something that we should be considering, because the other side of the ledger is what happens if that becomes the only game in town? What happens if that becomes the most important thing that we could possibly provide to the world? And yet we're all sitting here today saying it's impossible. I don't think everything is impossible, other than David saying something nice about the Conservatives. That could be impossible.
oh, shots.
All right.
Let's go. Plus, okay, the pipeline to me, now the story in Canada, I think, is getting pretty big. I don't think it's just about the pipeline. Of course, in the short, medium term, it is, but not to get too philosophical, Canada needs to prove to itself, to other people, like meaning other countries, that we are a serious country and we want to build things. I think my opinion right now of Canada is DEI, wokeness, pandering to Indigenous leaders, even if they do not represent the views of the average Indigenous person. Canada just has to be about building, prosperity, community. Like the last 15 years, it's been about negativity, defensive, complaining about Trump, complaining about injustices from the past. Justin Trudeau going on that crazy apology tour, apologizing for everything everybody did in the past. The morale of Canada needs to come up. The pipeline needs to be built. Other major projects need to be built. Let's go.
I wasn't saying a pipeline is impossible. I think getting the consent of people like Gaguis are very difficult, if not impossible at this point in time.
That is great. Anyway, with that said, I'll finish the video. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.